Every year I do the same thing. I dream about all the things I want to make. I dream about all the things I want to write, but it never really happens. I'm kind of over it, and I want to stop wasting my potential. I'm an overachiever in a lot of other parts of my life, but for some reason in my creative career, I feel stuck. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing the strategies I use to keep focus, make some goals for 2025, so I can finish my music. Before you break down the big goals, there's something more important that you have to do. You need to prove to yourself that you can be disciplined, and that when you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And how do you do that? You need to start with a small habit. Honestly, most people recommend doing it every day, but even just something that you do every single week, and it can't be too easy. It's kind of the foundation for everything else to work. It's tied to building an identity. You might have heard of this concept in the big book, Atomic Habits, but having the identity of the person, not, oh, I'm gonna do 2 push-ups. Like, I am an athlete that does push-ups. Like, when your actions align, it's actually easier to stay disciplined. It's all about starting small. It can be as small as playing bass for 5 minutes a day, making a 4-bar loop in Ableton. It doesn't have to be gigantic. It might seem insignificant, but it's not about the size of the task. It's about building discipline and consistency so you have the stamina built up. When you get to those bigger goals, you can follow through. Once you've mastered consistency over a few months, you're now ready for your larger, bigger projects. For these bigger projects, you want to break them down into smaller segments. So let's say you want to write a full song. What makes a song? Drums, bass, your melodic elements, so your chords, your melody, and then assign those to even smaller chunks. So let's say we want the drums. Well, what does that mean? We need the kick, the snare, we need cymbals. Break it down into manageable chunks. And if this overwhelms you on any given day, I switch to input-based goals. I will work on something for 10 minutes. It doesn't matter what, it's just 10 minutes on the drums. If you're having even more analysis paralysis, pick 2 things on the list and just work on one of or the other. It's like a little menu. Giving yourself a little menu so you can choose what to work on really does wonders if you're stuck. I like to do a little appetizer, a main, and a dessert. And what that means is the appetizer is something super easy. Main is like a little bit more focus intensive. And a dessert is like a fun thing that I want to do. It doesn't have to be intimidating. Be kind to yourself and know that you're going to get through this. My next secret weapon is visualization. And I'm talking about really getting into the visualization. Think about you achieving your goals, what it feels like to listen back to your finished song, and be so excited. Visualize you releasing the song on Spotify and seeing it on your artist page. Not only should you be visualizing your successes, but visualize your obstacles as well. So then you can make plans about them, and when you actually face these obstacles, you already have a plan. Here's a common problem. You're working on a song, but you're running out of time in terms of reaching your deadline. In my mind, when I visualize this obstacle, I'm like, okay, instead of like finishing the song, we're going to finish it to 70 to 75%, and it is what it is. Being an artist, perfectionism is something that a lot of us struggle with. But for me, finishing is more important because I know every song that I finish is important and going to make me a better artist. And lastly, tracking your progress is crucial. Celebrate those small wins. It'll help keep you moving forward. And it doesn't have to be in a fancy tracking journal. It can be on a piece of paper with a bunch of squares. Let me show you what I've been tracking my YouTube videos with. Remember to be kind to yourself throughout this whole process. It's not about making huge, gigantic leaps overnight. It's just about doing small steps towards your goal, and eventually you will get there. You know, what's that saying? You overestimate what you do in a month and underestimate what you do in a year, something like that. So let's take small steps together. Let me know in the comments what you're working towards in 2025. If you want to support me or you want to know more about my creative processes, I do have a Patreon that you can check out in the description below.